I want to start off with that Swerve Hangman match. Man, what can I say? Like, personally, for me, death matches aren't my thing. I love a good hardcore match, but then there's like the Nick Gage GCW going fucking extremely hard. That shit's not for me. like the, the Nick Gage hardcore match on the indies, not for me. I like it a bit more toned down. Um but man, I would have to say, I mean, people are throwing around all-time classic and everything. I must say, in terms of memorable matches, great matches, I thought this was like a super match. But there was like a small complaint, but not really. But I thought it was paced well. Like, even from the beginning, I love how Swerve got like the I'm not even gonna say superstar entrance, but he got the big entrance, and Hangman, as he should, no entrance, just comes flying out, attacks him. We're off to a hot start. Whatever, throws him outside, gets him in the ring, starts stapling him right away, like automatically sets the tone for the match, and just tortures him for a while, like, and then Swerve's finally able to get Prince Nana to like get the tape off, and then the match starts going. They go back and forth. I feel like this is like one of those matches that went like 2 to 3, 4 minutes too long. Like, they like peaked and then they just like went over, and then it like ended in the middle when it could have like ended up here. There's like one too many things, but like I can't complain about any of the things. But like, if they like condense like that like third quarter of the match down and like got at its peak, because I mean, personally for me, I didn't mind, but like I saw the fans like after like he had Swerve outside. There's like one too many things, like the 450 when Hangman had like the glass on his back. Like, I felt like it was like somewhere in between there, like that 2-3 minutes in there when they were just like doing extra shit. Like that shit could have cut out, could have like helped with like the finish. But when Brian Cage came out, started attacking Hangman, whatever, and all that, and then Nana going through the table, which didn't really get like, am I crazy or did that not get that big of a pop? But like, all that stuff was necessary because it was like perfect timing, because then right after Swerve comes, hits him in the back with like the cinder block, chokes him out. But like, the finish didn't get like a big pop, but people were happy with like the finish. So I thought overall the match was good. Like, I would watch it over and over again. I personally don't have like any like actual like complaints with it. I thought it was great all the way through. The memorable moments, the constant memorable moments in the match, like even when you go on Twitter like right after the match, bro, or even like hours after the match, all you see is just like all these viral moments from the match, which is what you want from like an all-timer match. Is like, you could think like, oh, that moment. And some of them were even serendipitous, weren't meant to happen. Like when Hangman was like on the ropes with his back turned to like the middle of the ring, and Swerve hits him in the back with a chair, but like Swerve like overthrew his chair shot. He like almost overhand hit him in the back with the chair, and then like a string of the barbed wire wrapped around Hangman's face. Oh, what a fucking visual, and what a moment that was. I was like, oh my god. And some people actually saw that, like, if you're front row there, you like, that visual was crazy. But like, thankfully, like, and like Swerve, like, I hate to have to break kayfabe here, but like, as dangerous as a match as this was like dangerous in a good way, because they were still like protecting each other. It was not like they like killed each other, like actually killed each other. Like, Swerve instantly saw the shit was wrapped, and he kind of like lived. I don't even want to like say that, man. I don't want to break kayfabe here. And also when Swerve hit the JMLL driver, I love how, like, instead of doing it on the first try because he didn't have enough momentum, he like took that extra bounce just to like be able to get over, so he's not dropping someone on their fucking head and killing them. Like, so I thought that was awesome too. Like, just like two pro wrestlers having like a great Texas, like, that's a Texas death match, you know? Like, when you put Texas death match on the billing, like, that's like a match you want to see. And like, that match was awesome. Something I also hate, side note, like, is like the tribalism and like the overhype of like wrestling fans on Twitter. Like, uh, I mean, I'm not like arguing with it, but it's annoying to see like it's like almost like copy and paste from like wrestling Twitter account to the next. Like, all time classic, put the championship on Swerve. My least favorite one actually was like 2 years ago to the day Swerve got released from WWE. 2 years later, he's making a name for himself, being one of the top stars. Like, it just takes a brain to like realize like the situation that happened at the time Swerve got released. Like, as opposed to like if it was the way it was now, would it really be like that? You know, but like, I'm happy Swerve is got this win because I was so scared. I think all of us were so scared. Like, he won the first match. Fuck, he probably has to win the second. Hangman probably has to win the second one, so it could be like a best out of three. But he won 2 in a row. And like, when the heel wins 2 in a row, it's still acceptable for the babyface to go back for a third one. But it's like, do you really want to beat Swerve? Because now, like, after Swerve got this win in this Texas Death Match, this is almost like Randy Orton when he faced Mick Foley in that hardcore match at Mania. Like, that match, like, made everyone think, okay, this motherfucker could go in like the main event. Like, he's hardened now, you know? Like, this is the same thing for Swerve. Like, now immediately I'm thinking like, oh my god, he should win the title at World's End. The only way this story makes sense is if MJF loses the title to Adam Cole and Adam Cole screws him over. I feel like that's like the only like storyline option, but like my heart would want Swerve. It's like the same way my heart wanted LA Knight, but it's just not the way it's going, you know? It's going Cody Rhodes. Like, it just has to, just with the way the story is. And for me, it's like Adam Cole's the only one that could take that title off MJF, but I don't know if they're going to do that way. People could say Samoa Joe. My heart would say Swerve. Like, got the momentum, bro. You put that title on him. Like, Prince Nana makes my life every time I see him come out with that dance. Like, that dance, from hindsight, you're kind of thinking, man, that's stupid, because like, he's supposed to be a manager. Like, he's not really managing, but like, everyone has their thing, and like, that's his thing, bro. He's literally getting the song over, even though he's Swerve's a heel. I like all that shit. I don't even care. Like, there's some things in wrestling, everything doesn't have to be taken so like seriously. Sometimes you just have to just enjoy shit, and like, that's just something I enjoy, bro. I can watch him do the fucking dance. And it was even more funny when Hangman had him on like the side of the ring, and then he's like, and it was even funny because there's a point in the match where Hangman was just beating the shit out of him. This is like after the halfway point, and he wrapped the barbed wire around Swerve's like neck, head, face, whatever, and he does like a buckshot lariat. And like, I'm thinking, like, we see so many times in AEW when like Ibushi's the master of it, when he just takes like some dangerous move, he's up like 20 seconds later. It's like, do you know what selling is, baby? Like, how are we supposed to believe it if you don't even believe it and you got hit with it? Like, so like, Swerve was just taking a beating. Hangman was hitting him with all these like big things, and then hits a buckshot layer with a thing. And I was thinking, if Swerve gets up at 10, it's just gonna be like hard to believe. It would suspend me believing it if after all those big moves, Swerve just got up at 10. So after that buckshot layer, I was even thinking, because I even saw Prince Nana go around the ring, and I'm like, the only option for Swerve to get up after this is if Prince Nana yanks him out the ring and stands him. And sure enough, at 7, ref counts 8, Nana pulls him out and like stands perfectly, and Swerve does it perfectly. He look back into the thing, and then he's like wobbling. I was like, that was perfect. That was literally the only way. Helps give Hangman credibility, because Hangman's like, what the fuck? I literally won the match, man. What the fuck? He just yanked him out of the ring. But that was awesome. Obviously, heels like need whatever to win. Brian Cage came out. I think that kind of killed it for a lot of people, because they're like, man, we're wasting an all-time classic match, and then there's like interference, whatever. But everyone needs some heat, you know, whatever. I have no complaints about it at all, by the way. Poor Jericho, Young Bucks, and Omega for having to go after that match. Poor fucking them. It took them like over half the match to like somewhat get people into it, but it's like coming from that match, it's like a match that was like built off of like 2 weeks of storyline. It's kind of like, yeah, you know. I know like the MJF like storyline was like the main thing, was like the main storyline in AEW like the past like 2-3 months, but like for some reason it just felt like that Hangman match was like the most important match on the show. I have no idea why. And I'm actually, this is gonna segue perfectly into MJF, Jay White, where first of all I have to say MJF is literally one of the best performers I ever seen in wrestling. Like, and I don't have the history going back to the 90s, you know, was not alive for half of the 90s. But like, man, this guy could do everything. He could almost do no wrong as a heel. We only got to talk about it. Literally like the greatest fucking like literally the greatest heel, like one of the greatest on the mic, if not the greatest on the mic today. Like he's like probably the only I'm not going to say the only person, but like when he comes out for just a promo like on AEW, like on Dynamite, like I'm fully invested. Like there's sometimes, you know, like Seth Rollins will come out for a promo, like, okay, he's gonna say the same stuff. When MJF comes out for like a promo, like I'm fully invested. Like a lot of times people come up for promos, I'm like, okay, whatever, on my phone, hearing it in the background, but like I'm always fully invested in MJF, and that's just because of like how great of a job he does. His selling. Some people who just like no sell everything. If they have an injury in the match, it's like they don't like MJF, like when he sells a body part in a ring, like you actually believe. Like this takes me back to when I was like 8 or 9, like watching John Cena get beat up, because you know back as a kid, you know, you believe the shit more. You don't know all like you don't know all the ins and the outs of the business, so what you're watching is like what you're actually like thinking, you know. And like watching John Cena get beat down by Umaga, like you're like, come on John Cena, come on man. Like MJF's selling of the leg like takes me back to that. Like even now, knowing like all like the ins and the out, whatever. Oh my god, there's a person that loves when I say whatever too, by the way, but I'm gonna keep saying it. Him selling the leg, I actually am like I'm like believing it. Like I'm like, oh my god, like every like squint he makes, like he's like doing like a sharpshooter, like a back a Boston Crab. Jeez. Boston Crab. And after a while he's like, no, I can't do it anymore. And like there's like certain times where it's like believable when he's like no selling it, because it's like, okay, you have some freaking adrenaline in you, you can fight through the pain, but then like after that it's like, okay, now it's like, oh, it actually hurts. As opposed to like when you see some people like their legs messed up and they're just doing like high flying moves off the top of the rope to the outside, no selling the leg. Like he sold that leg and he just made me believe. Same thing when he faced Adam Cole, like at All Out. Is that what that is? All Out. Like his selling in every match is just so great. And he's almost too good at everything that he actually made Jay White, like, he made me not interested in Jay White at all. I'm not sure if anyone else could like relate to that. When Jay White came in, I was like, oh my god, like it's Jay White, awesome. Oh my god, what's he gonna do? Oh my god, I'd love to see him as champion. But like MJF has been so good, and this could be partially Jay White stealing that title from MJF. I've been saying MJF. What is wrong with me, baby? I've been saying, okay, Jay White taking that title from MJF and holding on to it for like, what was it, like 6 weeks? That just killed it for me. Like, that stuff is just like, at that point, it's like, Tony, like, your world champion has his title taken from him. Are you not gonna like say, bro, you gotta give it back? It's not your title. You didn't win it. Just holding the title hostage for weeks and weeks. MJF is literally having title matches. So like, if Daniel Garcia beat MJF for the title and he has no title, like, it's just like stuff like that was so stupid, and like obviously we don't want the heel to win, but it was almost like go away. Like I didn't want Jay White to win, like not interested in Jay White, and like Jay White so good in the ring, but like American pro wrestling is just like a lot more centered on personality as opposed to just like in ring work. And like I just feel like every time like I saw Jay White cut a promo, like his delivery, like there's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes maybe I thought he was going too fast, but it's just like no one really cared. I felt like the first time him and MJF were in the ring, everyone was just like what, like no one gave a fuck about what Jay White had to say, because his personality, like the character of Jay White was just not over. Like as good of the ring as you could be, bro, like if no one cares about you, like heel or babyface, then it just makes things super hard for you. And every promo he cut, I just felt like nobody cared. I know I didn't care. He had that title for way too long and it wasn't even his. I was just like, don't care. Like, and like in this match, I mean, like, and AEW overbooked the fucking shit out of this. And I understand there's probably some people who are like late to the AEW party and like probably believe that MJF was not going to be in that match because of like the things they did with like that whole angle. But like for those of you who've like been with AEW from the start already know one thing Tony Khan will never do, because he's seen WWE do it over and over again, and now Triple H is in charge, so I mean whatever, not really happening that much, but Tony Khan will never advertise something and not deliver it unless like literally like the person cannot physically be there. But he will never like advertise something and then just like fuck take it away because he has like a different story in mind. So for those of you who actually believe MJF was not going to be in that main event, I mean, like, what can I say? Shame on you. But I felt like all that was overbooked. Like it even could have been like the Guns hurt his leg in like the pre-show, and like it was like, oh my god, is MJF gonna be okay for the main event? But like having to make us like believe Adam Cole's gonna do it, and like for us to even think Tony Khan's allowing a guy who just had surgery 2 weeks ago to compete in a main event against like a fully healthy competitor. He's literally wearing a boot post surgery, not even 3 weeks, and we're supposed to think you're allowing him to wrestle? Like that would be like, gotta call HR for that. Like something like, bro, like that's ridiculous. Like for us to even believe that. But I felt like maybe that was overbooked, but like it was cute what they did, but yeah, very overbooked. It could have been done in a very simple way. I've noticed like sometimes that he just tries to, or like they, whatever, just try to overcomplicate things like a bit too much. Like sometimes it could just be a little bit more simple and we get the same exact result. They had like a half an hour fucking main event. It was very well fucking wrestled, but it's like I didn't really care like that much, honestly, because I already knew MJF was going to win. It's like there's really no reason for Jay White to win. He has no momentum at all. Literally, like no one really cared about Jay White. Like no disrespect to him at all. Like I could speak to the ends of the earth with how great he is in the ring, but just like character wise, like has a lot of work to do there. Yeah, but it was just another one of those pay-per-views like back when Hangman used to have like the world title, where it's like they just have to put the world title on last because the world title, it's like they feel like they have to. But even when it's not like the biggest match on the card, like that Swerve Hangman match, like after that match, like I felt fucking completely satisfied, and I'm like, oh, there's more, whatever, you know. But then there's that. Yeah, but honestly, though, that Swerve Hangman match was, like, so great. There's just so many memorable moments in that match. Is it weird for me to say that I think there's, like, another gear that Swerve has to enter in order for him to be world championship material? Like, I kind of feel like there's, like, one more gear he needs to enter just to, like, put him in that thing. Because I remember people were, like on Twitter, like he had like some like post-match promo, but I don't think it was for AEW. I think he was doing it for like his own Twitter. People were like, oh my god, this is the promo of the century. Like it was good, but it was not that good. Like that's like wrestling Twitter like overhyping shit like a little bit too much, but like that whole match with Swerve and Hangman is like an example of like when pro wrestling is done right. It's like there's no other form of entertainment fucking better. It's like that match was like, it's like literally one of those moments. Like sometimes you have like those crazy moments at the end of like a WWE show, like back in the day, and you're like, wow, I am so proud to be a wrestling fan. Like this was awesome. I'll never see anything better. Like that's kind of what that match felt like. After that match was over, I was like, I felt like fucking history. Like I was a part of something special. Personally, that's just how I felt. And like even like the small things, like after he beat Hangman, choked him out, Hangman's on the ground outside, laying on his face. Swerve's this time laying down. And the awesome fucking visual of like Swerve like climbing over him to like stand up. And he's almost like standing over him like he's like a prey that he just killed. Like it's like a bird like with like a fucking fish underneath them, like, you know, it's like a prey. He's like standing over his prey, like growling a fucking like animal, bro. Like that visual was so fucking awesome. Like that original visual, like even before everything I just said, just the him climbing over Swerve's body like that shit looked so good, and I'm so glad they caught that. All that was awesome. Even like the post match where they're just like just everything. And like I like how on pay-per-view, because like sometimes on TV they rush things, but like even their promo on like the go home show, I love how they let that shit breathe after that whole thing was done. Like camera going back and forth, catching their face, Swerve's face selling it perfectly. Like he's almost like concerned but still angry, like worried, like he was fucking, like he was actually gotten to by the words Hangman was saying, but like still angry and still like fucking ready to kick his ass, you know. I thought all that was like very well done. I didn't know what to think going into the Swerve and Hangman feud, but like, man, like I can't even say that match could have been like the main event, but like it could have been the main event, you know. But like the MJF storyline with Jay White was like the main thing, you know, on AEW TV. But I thought that stuff was cool. Don't just gloss over things. I don't like doing like show reviews. Like sometimes I feel like these AEW pay-per-views are like always one match too much. Like they did a lot with like Jade Cargill back in the day when she had like her title matches on the pay-per-view. Like it's always felt like a match that didn't need to be there, that took up like 15 minutes, that literally could have made like the show end faster. But there's always like another match like that. And like I don't want to say it was like the Golden Jets match, because maybe there's another match that actually could have been taken off, but we're gonna gloss through these real quick. The matches I watched and actually care about, like some of them don't really mind. So not gonna talk about the Orange Cassidy match. Oh my god. Okay, that Tony Storm match. Okay. Oh my god, I got a bone to pick with Aubrey Edwards and even just whoever let this shit happen, bro. AEW has had a big issue, I feel, with referees over like the past while now. Before it was like the bald guy, I forgot his name already, but you guys already know who I'm talking about. But in this match, bro, like cutting right to the finish. So Toni Storm has like a small frying pan of some sort, and like her in like her pant or like her underwear, whatever you want to call that, her wrestling shorts, and like it was in there at first, but then she starts walking around, and I don't know how like she didn't, nobody thought this through about like how long it is compared to like what she was wearing, and why she needs to wear like fucking tights instead or something. But like after like 2 seconds of walking, it already starts hanging out, and it's hanging out. And, like, it's hanging out, and she's walking around the ring, and I'm like, Aubrey Edwards literally has a clear view of, like, this frying pan just dangling out Toni Storm's ass. And, like, not saying a word. Like, I can almost see Aubrey Edwards kind of, like, trying to look somewhere else. But it's like, bro, it's right in front of you. Like, you're the referee of this match. You're looking at, like, the two wrestlers in the ring. You could clearly see it, bro, but you have to act like you can't. And like it's stuff like that, bro. That stuff is like that stuff is like kid shit. Like that stuff is like amateur shit, bro. Like I'm not even gonna lie, like that stuff is like the stuff, and like the fans were like laughing about it because I just kind of felt like they were just trying to be super nice about it, or they're just laughing because they thought it was fucking so stupid that like the ref didn't fucking see it. But you could literally hear the fans fucking laughing. I'm not sure if they're just like okay with it just because Tony Storm's fucking gimmicks like fucking cute, whatever. Like she actually kind of played it off cute, but like, bro, I thought when like she went to the corner because she put Hikaru Shida in one corner, and like Hikaru Shida's in the position, and like Tony Storm's about to hit her with like the hip attack, and like she starts fucking fixing the frying pan. So I'm like, okay, she's actually gonna like fix it, put it back in. But she fixed it, but that shit was still like waddling out. I'm like, bro. And then she hits the move and then rolls Hikaru Shida to like the center of the ring. Bro, the frying pan is literally dangling. Dangling. And she's pinning Hikaru Shida with her ass like facing Aubrey Edwards, and Aubrey Edwards counts to 3. I'm like, I cannot believe this, bro. Like, that's like a situation where I feel like referees have to just go into business for themselves and like protect their credibility, because it's like, I know that's the finish, bro, but like you can't look that stupid. And that's not the first time this happened with Aubrey, where like either the wrestlers aren't doing a good job of trying to protect her credibility, or she's just not taking it into her own hands. It's honestly like a mixture of both, but sometimes like the wrestler just set her up to just look so stupid. And bro, that's just a situation. I was like, I was like, at the point I just started looking, I'm like, like, you know, that stuff just looks so horrible. And like, we talk all the time about trying to bring new fans into wrestling, and it's like, if I were to bring a friend and he like saw that, he'd be like, how did the ref just like like how do you just see that? And like, you know, it's like things like that like will not bring in new like fuck wrestling fans. Like I feel like stuff like that's just so stupid. It's like, man, like, so this is shit like to watch. I'm just like, fuck, like I can't defend this. I can't defend this at all. But like, happy Tony Storm got the title. It was great the way she celebrated after, which is laying in the middle of the ring. Great camera shot over her, aerial camera shot. Love that. But bro, they could have, like, wear tights, man. You guys have to be going through this match or something before the show. Like, bro, wear tights, man. And you know, you can actually get away with that. Like, you're wearing something where the frying pan like literally goes right through. Frying pan, mirror, whatever it is. I don't know. And the only thing I gotta say about this fucking tag team ladder match is like, man, it was a very entertaining match to like watch. Like, just carnage everywhere. Very awesome matches to watch. But like, in terms of like logic, it's like logic out the window. And I'm thinking with like people like FTR in there, like fucking no flips, just fist brother, you know, and like them liking old school wrestling. I was thinking there's gonna be that old school logic, like, you know, like the point of a ladder match with titles on the line is to grab the titles. And like there's a point in the match where fucking Brody King had a Dralistico on a bridge ladder from the ring to like the barrier outside, and hits his move on him. And like, meanwhile, in the ring, I see FTR, Dax, and Cash with 2 ladders in the ring. One of them, I'm pretty sure, was standing. And bro, I'm thinking, you could go grab the titles right now. Everyone is outside. FTR, both people. And like, Brody King and Dralistico just did a big move, and they're laying on the outside. So everyone's outside. And they're in the ring. They are in the ring. I'm like, you could just go for the titles right now. And instead, Mr. No Flips, just fists, sets the fucking ladder bridge outside back up and goes for a fucking dive off the top rope on it again. I'm like, what in the fuck? I'm like, bro, that's some hypocritical shit. That's some hypocritical shit. Man, I was like, what the fuck, man? I thought the whole point is, do you know what the titles? Like, at that point, there was so much of the match where I felt like people were just trying to go for moves as opposed to like going for like the ladder, and I don't mind these moves at all. Like I love seeing like all this crazy shit in ladder matches. I love that shit. Like I love watching ladder matches for that reason. But like when it's just going from move to move and it feels like no one's going for like the title, it's like, then like, do you guys even care to win? Like, or you just, because like when you see these teams and these people going from move to move, no one's really going for the titles, it makes you think like, okay, like they're just fucking trying to put on like a good show for us and they're not even trying to win, you know? It kind of like takes your belief away from like people wanting to be champion and trying to win the match. That's all I have to say about that match. Like that's the thought of that match. And the Chris Statlander, Sky Blue, Julia Hart triple threat match. Happy Julia Hart won. Like, she's doing a great job with her character. Doing a great job getting better in the ring. I think Chris Statlander is awesome in the ring. I love her. I think she's awesome. Sky Blue's even getting better in the ring. But, like, the one thing about Sky Blue, and it's another thing that AEW does that I hate, and that's why they took, like, the what's the thing? Like, they had, like, a top 5, whatever that is, where they actually kept score of people's like AEW records. Like now I know why they took that away, because it's like impossible to like have that and like want to put people who you want in matches. And like they said, Sky Blue's like the most fucking winningest female in AEW this year. I'm like, I haven't seen her win once on Dynamite, as opposed, except for her last match with Red Velvet, never saw her win once. Only saw her been beat on Dynamite. And she's the most winningest because she's winning over matches on Rampage, which nobody watches. No video, no nothing, showing like a quick like boom, doing her move on one person, pinning, boom, boom, boom. Like show us like 5 of those at least. Like for, it's like so weird for people that only watch fucking Dynamite to like hear Sky Blue's like the winningest female in 2023. I'm like, what? Like Sky Blue? Like I never seen her win. But that's just what something they do. I thought the finish was like very well done. Chris Iron does her finish, has her rolled up. Julia Hart comes up the rope, clothesline, takes the fold up, wins. I actually thought that was nice. And then the other thing I'm going to say about the tag team match, Omega, Jericho, Young Bucks. Like, the Young Bucks, okay, buddy, you guys made your point, bro. You guys are mad you lost. Like, Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, fuck, don't know which one. Actually, I should click on this. I can actually see which one it is. Which one's Nick? Which one's Matt? I don't know how I don't know by now. I actually should know. Okay, yeah, it's exactly how I think. So Nick goes to like the entrance, whatever. He's fucking throwing shit around, taking shot barricades, whatever. He like goes up the ramp, comes back down because he sees his fucking brothers there. And he goes out, comes back out. I'm like, okay, bro, we get it. You guys are mad you lost, bro. You guys are trying to make your point. You guys are like fucking dicks. We get it. But it was like a bit like too much for me, you know? And it's like, it was just like a random like tag match. Obviously, there's actually like a tag title opportunity on the line and things like that. And they wanted to get Omega and Jericho to split up. But it's like, okay, it was like a bit too. I'm like, all right, bro, we fucking get it. But yeah, I'm not going to go too much into that. I don't even want this to go too long. I want to try to keep it under 40 minutes. But overall thoughts on the pay-per-view, no comment. But those are my thoughts. You know, there's like some things they just overbook, some things they do wrong, but they really need to work on like the credibility of referees. And a lot of times they do these freaking ladder matches, man, like just feels like a bunch of people going for moves, and I love that shit. Like I love that shit, but it's like when no one's going for the title for like 10-15 minutes, just move after move, it's like, okay, whatever. But if that Swerve Hangman match was not on this pay-per-view, like I'd probably have a completely different fucking feeling. Like if you take that Texas Death Match out of there, like that pay-per-view is like actually so subpar. Now that I think about it, yeah. If you take that Texas Death Match out of it, it's like average pay-per-view. Like what the fuck? But Yeah, one too many matches on the main card. Like if there's one less match, actually would have been good, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's my thoughts.